Police today linking a severed human hand and foot mailed to separate schools in Vancouver to the same college student who was allegedly killed and dismembered by a Canadian porn star. Now, police are also looking into videos that they say Luca Magnotta may have posted while he was on the run for more than a week, including one just before his arrest, where he appears to be relaxing and listening to Madonna's La Isla Bonita.
What's up, and hi to all my fans.
Joanna Rumiliotis has been covering the story for the CBC, Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. Thanks very much. I know you have been covering this, sort of day in and day out, one of the most bizarre and gruesome stories. What can you tell us in terms of how confident police are that these latest body parts that have come to the school are linked to the case?
Well, they're almost certain, Aaron, that they are indeed parts that belong to Jun Lin, the victim that you mentioned earlier. They haven't completed DNA testing. The parts were shipped from Vancouver to Montreal for that testing today. And while there's no 100% confirmation yet at this point, police say because they are the right hand and the right foot parts that are still missing or that were still missing, they strongly believe that they are Jun Lin's. And the other fact that links it to Luca Magnotta is the fact that they were posted from a Montreal postal outlet. They don't know yet what exact location that is, but they are fairly certain that it is indeed the work of Luca Magnotta.
And Joanna, I know this is just an awful question, but I'm sure some people out there are thinking, and we talk about all these body parts that have been showing up. Do they know where the head is? Do they expect that there will be more?
The head is the body part that is still missing, and believe me, Aaron, police too are very careful when they bring up these gruesome details. They are so graphic, and they are obviously thinking about the family when they do so. But the fact remains, the head is still missing. Whether or not it's in the mail, police say it's not clear. At this point, it takes about 10 days maximum for any body part to be mailed from Montreal to any other part in Canada. So the timeline in terms of where the parts showed up in Vancouver fits that timeline. So we're reaching the maximum. If it doesn't show up in a couple of days in the mail, they're not sure where it is. But they have looked at dump sites, and they are also looking into whether or not it might have been shipped outside of Canada, maybe to the U.S., maybe overseas. They're still not clear. Wow. And while they have said they don't need the head in terms of physical evidence, they do have quite a bit. They do want to obtain everything for the sake of his family.
And I know the victim's family did just arrive in Canada last night. What do you know about them?
They're devastated. They come from a province in China that is relatively poor. They arrived in Montreal last night with the help of the Chinese consulate in Montreal. We spoke to a student representative who was at the airport to greet them. He said the mother especially was besides herself, could barely walk. They had to carry her, and she was rambling, and basically what they could make out was that she had come, she said, to find her son and to bring him home. So they are very devastated, as anybody could imagine. This is such an incredibly awful story to find out about your own child. And the community in Montreal, the Chinese community, especially at the university where Lynn was studying, have set up 2 donation drives that we know of at this point to help them in their trip here and to help them go back home.